Hi everybody and welcome to the tune review for tonight's match reaction to Liverpool 4, Newcastle United 2 at Anfield. I'm Paul, thank you very much for joining me. If you do enjoy the video, please don't forget to hit the like for us, and it helps us keep up there in the search results on YouTube. And of course, if you are new to the channel and you like what you see, please do subscribe, free to do so, and don't forget to hit that notification bell which will let you know when we go live or we upload any future videos. So the game tonight, well, let's face it, guys, we're not playing well. I think that's the first thing that we have to address, but we also have to keep believing. We are going through a very, very rough time at the moment, and, you know, we can shout and rave about the performance and say it just wasn't good enough. We can shout about the decisions that went against us tonight. Again, very harsh. However, we're not playing well, are we? Let's be honest. We're not playing it well at home, and we're not playing away from home. So, you know, we do need to address that, but we need to address that in a constructive way. You know, Eddie Howe will become under pressure from a certain amount of fans tonight. There's no doubt about that. Some are feeling that he got his team selection wrong. I'm not sure what he could have done with the starting lineup, to be honest, given that, you know, Trippier and Wilson are now out with injuries, and we're stuck with a very weak bench again. There wasn't much on that bench that could come on and change the game. And you're thinking maybe Miggy can come on, you know, dropped, put on the bench. Maybe he's got a point to prove. Come on and be an impact sub. Nah, it didn't happen. But, you know, you've got to question a few decisions from Eddie tonight. There's no doubt about that. You know, why, when we're 3-2 down, does he then bring two defenders on and go to five at the back? Try and play two wing-backs when we're getting absolutely humped. You know, every time Liverpool came forward, it looked like they could score. The game started and we would just... It was like the Alamo. You know, every time Liverpool got the ball in that first 25, 30 minutes, you just thought, wow, they're going to score here. And if it wasn't for a wonderful performance by Martin Dubravka, we would have absolutely been tonked tonight. Absolutely tonked. You know, they could have got 7 or 8 goals. And, you know, we've been very, very critical of Dubravka, but he shoved it back in our faces tonight. And I'm glad. I'm really pleased for him. That looked like the Dubravka of old. He was confident, made brilliant saves, and could do nothing about the goals. You know, he'd already saved a Salah penalty in the first half. So you've got to look at the performances as well as the decisions. I understand people are going to be very, very annoyed with those decisions tonight. And rightly so. You know, the offside, where was the lines? You know, they seemed to look for a decent camera angle that suited the Liverpool player. And the penalty was just a joke. I mean, an absolute joke. Dubravka pulls his arms away. Jota goes round him, and then 2 yards away from Dubravka, Jota decides to go to the floor. There is no excuse for VAR tonight. That is shocking. I don't know what Anthony Taylor's position was, you know, when he was looking at the penalty incident. He gave it, but then he's relying on VAR to make that decision for him. Has he got it right or wrong? And it was completely wrong. So yes, we've been done by 2 shocking decisions, but let's be honest. Did we really deserve anything from that game tonight? No, we didn't. And now we face a massive month ahead. You know, this was always going to be a tough game at Anfield, undoubtedly. But you always have belief that if your side, certainly Newcastle, with the 11 we put out tonight, you look at that starting 11 and you think, yeah, we can give them a game tonight. We've got some good players on that pitch. But we didn't. We didn't do enough. Not anywhere near enough. Certain players, for me, you know, didn't defend well. You look at the Liverpool goals and you think, wow, far too easy, man. Far too easy to get through us. You know, a couple of the Liverpool goals is just simple tap-ins. In fact, 3 of them were. Apart from the penalty. And you know, you look and you think, what are we doing? You know, where's the discipline in defence? There wasn't any. And I'll tell you right now, Eddie Howe's got some decisions to make. This is a huge month coming up for Newcastle United. We knew that before this game tonight, that it was going to be a huge month for Newcastle. You know, are we good enough to get something from these games in January? And everybody's looking at the Sunderland game thinking, oh, you know, we're going to lose to Sunderland. Sunderland will hammer us. Come on, let's be honest. We should beat Sunderland, and I'm not just saying that because of they're our rivals or anything like that. We should beat Sunderland, and if we don't, then I believe that Eddie Howe will come under pressure. I'm still not part of this Eddie Howe out at the moment. I have to say, you know, we're going through a rough patch, and this is where, you know, the players and the management need our support. You know, we've backed them when things have been good. We need to back them when things are bad as well. Yes, we can criticise, absolutely 100%. As fans of this football club, we are allowed to criticise. However, we also still support this football club and still support us in the good and bad. And yes, we're going through a very tricky phase now. Eddie's going through the hardest phase of his managerial career at Newcastle. But we need to still support him. Whether we agree with some of his decisions or not, the decision to let him go, if that ever happens, will come from way above. And you've got to look at the players as well, guys. These players played so well last season, and some of them are looking shadows of what they were. And that has to be asked questions why as well. It's not just all down to the manager. These players showed last season that they were capable of matching the best. Whether it's overachieving or not, they still match the best in the league. And this season is very, very different. So you have to look at the players as well and question where their mentality is right now. Because what I'm seeing is down in tools. And I don't like that. Because it takes me back to previous teams and previous managers, who we were screaming at. When we seem to down tools and put our heads down. And I don't like seeing that. And certain players need to respond. They need to be better. The marking for some of the Liverpool goals is simply dreadful. Simply dreadful. But as much as those decisions went against us tonight, guys, I'm sitting here and honestly saying that we deserved nothing from the game. Absolutely zilch from that game. We were not good enough. And if we'd come away from that game with a draw or a win, God help us if we'd won, but we didn't deserve anything. And that's what it all boils down to, whether you agree with the decisions or not. They didn't go for us tonight, absolutely. But the performance wasn't there. And we've been saying the performance hasn't been there for a while now. And you can't blame fatigue either. This is not a night where you can say, the players were knackered. They've had a week off. They've had a week to get ready for this game. So I think, a lot of us Newcastle United fans kind of need to stop making excuses now and look at the reasons that this is happening. Stop making silly excuses like fatigue or, injuries and stuff like that. We need to stop now and take a good look at this and think, what are we doing here? What are we doing? And how do we get through this as fans, as a team, as a collective? Eddie Howe's definitely under pressure. He'll be feeling it now because we're not winning games. We're losing games, and we're losing games heavily. And that's the big worry for me is that the manner of the defeats. The manner of the defeats is more concerning to me at the minute. And they have got to get themselves picked off the floor and ready for a huge game. I don't care what anybody says. If you're a Newcastle United fan, this game on Saturday against Sunderland is massive. Is the biggest game of the season, bar none. And if you don't feel that way, you're not a proper Newcastle fan. Because this is a huge game. But it's also the FA Cup, and it's also an opportunity to get to Wembley. It's also an opportunity to have a cup run. And given where we are in the league right now, we need a good cup run. We need a good FA Cup run. Because whatever you say, a good cup run sparks confidence, morale. We need to get that a little bit back tonight, or at the moment. Because, I thought when we equalised tonight, that might just spur us on and think, right, there's the kickstart. There's the firelighter that we need. It didn't happen. So, I don't know, guys. Questions will have to be asked, no doubt. They will be asked. Join us tomorrow night, 7 p.m, of course, for the match reaction. If you're watching this on Monday night. If you're watching this on the Tuesday on the rerun, then that'll be tonight at 7. We'll go through the game. We'll do the player ratings. We'll pick the bones out of it, and we'll see what we think is collectively as fans, not just us as hosts, but you guys out there in the chat as well. How do we get through this? We've got to try and stay positive, but at the same time, we're allowed to criticise. And as long as that criticism is aimed in the right way, we're allowed as fans to do that. But we are in a bit of a crisis right now, and I generally think that. But we have to stick together. We have to back the players. We have to back Eddie Howe to get through this. If he doesn't get through it, then things might change in the future. But right now, Eddie Howe and the players need us. They need our backing. They need to know that we are behind them. And that is all we can do at the minute. We can talk about a poor performance on the review tomorrow and give our honest opinions. And that's all it is, honest opinions. But at the same time, we need to back them. We need to support this club. We're going through a rough spell. They need our backing. But let me know in the comments what you think, guys. Please do, as I said at the start, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, free to do so. But don't forget to hit the notification bell, which will let you know when we upload any videos or we schedule our lives. Don't please forget to give it the thumbs up, because that is mightily important on the channel to keep those likes coming in. But in the meantime, thank you for watching, guys, and we'll see you very soon. Take care.